Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat and I write children's fiction. Today I thought I'd do an AuthorTube tag, which is the writing process tag originally created by Bookish Penbabe, because I always think it's so cool to see how other writers work and maybe to learn from them. So let's jump right into it. Question number 1. What genres do you write? So, as I already said, I write children's fiction. They are adventure stories, mostly starring animals. But in the future, I'm totally up to writing other stuff as well. I'm not set on children's fiction. For example, I really love reading murder mysteries. I'm not sure I could write one though, because I don't know. That's not how my brain works. So, let's see, never say never, and I'm really up for anything. Question number 2. What setting gets you the most productive? That's definitely libraries for me. Good old public libraries with internet access, because I write in Google Docs. I don't like going to coffee shops because I don't drink coffee or tea. And I always feel pressure to buy things so I can stay there, so I'm not a fan of that. And I also get super easily distracted at home. Question number 3. If you have multiple story ideas, how do you go about picking which one to start on first? I'm not a writer who's constantly full of ideas, but I do have some in parallel currently. So I just pick the one that I'm most excited to work on and feel most inspired in the moment. And then I stick with it. So I pick it, I work on it, I finish my first draft, and only then I allow myself to move on to the next project. Question number 4. Do you outline? No, at least not before I write. And I'm probably going to make a video on that very soon. Question number 5. Do you start your first draft with pen and paper, typewriter, or computer? I definitely write most of my stuff on the computer. Sometimes I take notes with pen and paper and also on my cell phone. And I don't have a typewriter, but I do love typewriters. They're so satisfying. Question number 6. What do you do to get through writer's block? I actually have a video on that. I will link it up here because I don't think writer's block is real. So of course you can watch the video, but the short version is I just write and I don't worry about the quality because I can fix that later. Question number 7. Do you format your project from the beginning or worry about that later? I'm not actually sure what you mean by formatting, so I guess I'm one of those people who worries about it later. Question number 8. Do you edit as you go or when you're finished with your first draft? I added some very small things or just things that will bug me if I don't fix them on the spot, but on a whole, I don't worry about editing until I'm done with the first draft. Question number 9. After finishing your drafts or manuscript, how long do you give it a break before you start going back over it, or do you give it a break at all? Yes, I definitely do give it a break. I think that's very important. So even in my day job where I write non-fiction and short form articles and stuff, I usually write my first draft one day and then proofread it the next day. And I just find this very helpful because I catch so many more mistakes this way. My brain just had a chance to rest and I can look at my manuscript with fresh eyes. So yeah, I definitely recommend waiting in between drafts. How long? I don't really know. I don't really think about it. A month or 2 in between. Question number 10. Is there something that you prefer to do to get you through writing? Playing music, TV, having your favorite drink or food. Again, I have a video on that. I usually make a soundtrack for my writing, so that's something I really like to do. I could never in my life write with TV. I don't know how people do that. And I also try not to eat because I will just mindlessly eat and never stop, so I try to avoid that. Question number 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions? I don't, but I usually end up writing in the evenings anyway. Question number 12. Do you have word count or chapter goals for your writing sessions? I don't really. I just set myself the minimum of 100 words per session because I think that's an easy goal that won't overwhelm me, so the mental hurdle of starting in the first place will be non-existent. So that's what I do, 100 words minimum. Usually I end up writing way more. Question number 13. Are there any quirky things you do to make your projects more fun? I think my books are so quirky and fun anyway that just the writing is what's fun to me. I just love exploring those worlds. I love making up silly characters. So no, I don't do anything. Question number 14. Do you work on multiple projects at one time? I do, but not in the same stages. So as I mentioned, I usually pick out one thing and then I work on that, finish the first draft, and then move on to the next work. So I do have multiple projects right now, but they are kind of in different stages. Question number 15. How often do you research what you're writing? Kind of all the time, because I have animal characters, so I will, questions will come up as I'm writing, like, oh, what do pigs eat? Or how big is this type of monkey? So I do research a lot. I think that's important, even if you write funny children's books, and I do it pretty much as it comes up, which is all the time. Question number 16. How do you organize your projects? So, as I mentioned, I do everything on my computer and I use Google Docs and Google Drive, so everything there is just on folders. So it's I have a writing folder, and then I have a folder for every work in progress, and then I have separate documents for the actual writing, or for notes or character profiles, and then in the later stages also for backups and beta reading information, sample chapters, all this kind of jazz. Question number 17. Do you reward or punish yourself for achieving or missing out on your writing goals? I don't, but maybe I should, to push myself a bit more. Question number 18. Are there any works similar to your projects that you look for and use for inspiration and or comparison? Not really, at least not consciously. I do love the vibe of Roald Dahl books and Neil Gaiman's kids books, because they're not overly sweet and they're a bit weird in places, so I really love this vibe, and I guess this is where I draw inspiration from. Question number 19. How early do you start looking for and hiring editors? Very good question. Actually, I probably should have done that already because there are waiting times, but I didn't start this process yet. Question number 20. If you finished a first draft or a manuscript, tell us how you felt afterwards. Pick your favorite. I love the feeling of finishing a manuscript, but it's so weird in a way. So I think my favorite moment was one work in progress that I wrote. I didn't mean to, but I wrote it in a month. So towards the end of the first draft, I noticed like, wow, I started this manuscript almost exactly a month ago. So if I want to finish it, I have to finish it today. And so that's what I did. By the end of it, I was crying. I was crying because some of the characters are based on my grandparents, and I had lost my grandma shortly before that. And so I think just all this emotion just came up, and just all this love that I feel for her, that I feel for my grandfather, that I feel for this story, it just all came up, and I just cried, and I was so happy and excited to finish this book. So I think it's really about being happy, but it's also a bit weird because you spend a lot of time with that story, and then to bring it to an end is a bit of a weird feeling. Question number 21. Tag someone. So, if you are watching this video, I tag you, of course. And if you have an AuthorTube channel. If you don't have an AuthorTube channel, just do the tag in the comments down below. I also tag A.S. Howell. She's an awesome writer here on AuthorTube. She's so funny and very sarcastic and cool. And I also tag Rebecca Rodriguez, who just seems like such a sweet person and just like some fairy tale princess. So I tag her as well. Okay, so this was the video for today. I'm really interested in your opinions on any of these topics, and if you want to see any videos from me where we'll go in depth with one of my answers and kind of my method, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you want to hang out with me once a week when I upload new writing related videos, follow me on all of my social media. I will link it down below. I am at @KatSperlingBooks pretty much everywhere except for Twitter, where I'm at @KSperlingBooks. I hope this video was interesting for you. I just think it's super interesting to see how other writers work, and so I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you very soon in the next one, and have a great day. Bye!